ready to have a great weekend? Yes. Is everybody ready to get crazy? Just for the record, by crazy, I mean we're going to sneak in an extra hike, okay? And for those of you that didn't laugh, that means you don't know Summit that well. So get to know him a little bit better this weekend. Congratulations. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your best day. First, we're going to start by having Summit's dad give a little speech. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Bivik Shah. I am Summit's cousin. I've known Summit my whole life, or his whole life, I mean. Yeah. He may not remember this. I actually took him for the very first time. Do you remember this?
No, I just hear stories.
Yes, to Disney World. And it was just me, him, and my aunt. Very mixed crew there. Did not want to come, but his parents wanted him to go to Disney World, and we were going, so we made it happen. So that was the first time. It was actually just me and Summit for a long time. I think of a whole weekend. Are you ready? I'm sure you are.
Hi everyone. Hello. Jai Jinendra. My name is Harshad. I'm Summit's father. Thank you everyone for coming to celebrate this special wedding. It's so wonderful that all of our friends and family could come together to celebrate and bless Summit and Julie. We are very fortunate to have a son like Summit. And on top of that, tomorrow, we are going to have Julie as our daughter. We have always been impressed with her kindness and her way of helping others. Throughout our lives, we always thought we were teaching our son, but I realize now that he has actually always been the one who has taught and guided us. One very important thing as a parent that we have learned from Summit is that we should help others. We are always very impressed with his regular volunteer work. We knew we never had to worry about who was looking after Nisa because he was such a caring older brother to her from the time he was very little. He also has taught us so much about generosity. He always reminds us not to keep anything more than what we need. I still remember him during his childhood. He never demanded anything and always enjoyed what he had. If we cannot use it, we should give it to somebody who can. And that kind of thinking has always touched our heart. Summit is very dependable son. I do not remember him ever saying no to anything that we asked from him, big or small. He is a son who only shared his happiness with us and never tried to trouble us with his problem because he goes out of his way to see us happy. I'm sure he will do the same thing for Julie. He always thinks about others around him, both near and far, before he thinks about himself. This is the happiest moment for our lives, that he is getting married to the best partner he could ever hope to find. Remember one thing, Summit. You can make married life so wonderful if you remain patient and care for each other just like you have during your whole life. Just as you always have. Our blessing will be always with you, and we wish you a very, very happy married life. Thank you.
I think we're going to start with dinner. Is that right? Are they all set up, or? Yeah. Rob, do you want to start with your speech? We are all look at this. Look at the excitement, Rob. We are waiting. Yes. Don't make us wait through dinner.
So I have the honor of giving one of the co-speeches with Raj Javera here. I think I'm covering the second half of Summit's life, but Raj is getting the first half. So first off, I do want to thank Summit and Julie for the wonderful food spread here today. I know deep down you guys wanted bottomless peanut butter, sprouted bread, and yogurt, but you really put out for us. So thank you. Summit and I actually started medical school together. That's the first time I saw Summit, but for 2 whole years, we never talked. But I knew exactly who he was. I think some of you remember this. He was the guy in the back row of the med school classroom. He had pierced ears back then. He sat there every day with his arms crossed, his head back. He somehow can squint and furrow his eyes at the same time, just looking like that hard Indian player he always wanted to be. I actually went back on Facebook because I really wanted to find a picture of this. There are 0 pictures of Summit before 2009 available on his Facebook profile, and I think that might be why. And so looking at him, I was like, man, this guy is way too cool for me to even hang out with from the front row of the med school class. So we never did. And then we started our Masters of Public Health program together. And there were 10 of us. We had to hang out. I had to talk to Summit. And lo and behold, he needed a roommate. I needed a place to live. We ended up living together. And I remember the first couple months there, you know Summit loves to host and loves to have his friends over. So who are the first 3 friends I meet? I meet Mayank, I meet Rahul, and I meet Raj. I'm like, oh my God, Summit might be more of an Indian player than I actually thought. But much like Summit, these guys love quoting Les Mis, they love fashion, they love travel. And these were the nuances that I've come to actually appreciate about Summit. So this story is all this to kind of say that with Summit, you can never judge a book by its cover because he is kind of the farthest from typical I've ever met. And that's what makes him wonderful. You know, I met them both volunteering at the Columbus Free Clinic. I was there, and I remember Summit and I both said, there's this amazing, cute pharmacist in the back, and we have to get her to come out with us when this is over. And of course, it was Summit with his charm and persuasive abilities who convinced her in a very rare Julie moment to exercise poor judgment and come out with us afterwards. And this was actually the first time that I was acquainted with the phenomenon of Julie's intermittent Southern accent. I've always been flummoxed by the fact that Julie doesn't have a major accent until that one moment when she really wants to convince you of something. And then she turns it on full Scarlett O'Hara, Gone with the Wind style. And until this weekend, I never knew if that accent was the real thing and she was covering it up, or did she turn it on as the fake thing. But I met all you Kennerlys out here, and I now know that that accent is real and it's wonderful. And speaking of real and wonderful, that's Julie and Summit's commitment to their community and volunteering. That's the Free Clinic, that's Clinica Latina, that's Honduras, that's Mexico, and that's everything that you guys give back to Columbus. And finally, the thing that even goes beyond that is your love of family that both of you show. You know, coming from a once a month talking to my parents kind of family, it was a shock to live with Summit and hear every single day this fast stream of Gujarati coming out at all hours. And then over the years to meet Shah after Shah after Shah after Shah. But doing that changes your perception of what family means, and I am 10 times closer to my family because of that. And then there's Julie. While her family's far away, I think it says a huge thing that we're all down here in North Carolina and what that means to her. And more importantly, with Julie, you know you're always loved. And when you're having a really hard time, she somehow knows it, and you get that present on your porch that you're not expecting, and that's absolutely wonderful. So I actually would like it if we would raise all of our glasses here and toast to the family that both of you guys have created, and God willing, the family that will continue to grow. So cheers to both of them. Thank you guys so much.
I want to thank you guys for all coming out here. This is an amazing venue, and we're here to celebrate Julie and Summit, and I couldn't be happier for the both of you. So I first met Julie when one of us sent out an email pleading for a roommate for pharmacy school. And it could have been that she was the only one that responded, or it could have been that we actually got along well enough to live together. But we met in a Panera for 30 minutes because that's how you determine who you're going to live with for 4 years. Is like, what is she going to order off of Panera? I don't know. But it ended up actually working out really well. And it turns out we have a lot of the same belief systems. And it turns also from Rob's speech, Summit, you also were a back row sitter. Yeah, so we definitely bonded over the back row of pharmacy school. And I mean, the belief system is really that, like that joke, you know, what do you call the person who graduates last from medical school? Doctor? So, exactly, we're all the same. And that's also where we met Kristen, our third trio of pharmacy girls in the back row. Still in the back row, yes. She didn't move up any. But since then, we've had a lot of surprises and adventures together, and I know a lot of people here could raise their glass to the terrible things that Julie has made them do over the past however many years of friendship. And I'm sure you're all familiar with my story about us landing in Chiang Mai, Thailand for a day hike that ended up being an overnight trek through the jungle. And she didn't tell me that until we were feet on the ground with the tour guide. And there was also hiking the Mexican desert in July without any water. And I think that was also the height of the swine flu season. So we got our money's worth for that, for sure. And then we kayaked in complete darkness through the mangroves, where they told us, don't reach out to the branches because that could be a snake. And I think actually Kristen is also suffering still from a unfortunate oar to the back of the head incident that we won't mention anything else about. But maybe the biggest surprise was when you told me after graduation that you were moving to Ohio, my friend who, if it drops below 60 degrees, wears a down jacket and long johns. So, yeah, it's still true, but I hope you have some sort of tolerance level built up now. But I will say it was no surprise when you called to tell me that you and Summit were getting married. I knew very early on that you all were a match for each other, and I'll be really honest, I was totally relieved that he was going to do things like bike through Croatia, and I wasn't going to have to do that anymore. So while you guys do that, I'll be at the pool. You just let me know. Drink in hand, probably. But I'm going to echo a lot of the things that Rob has already said, and that you're both incredibly intelligent and motivated individuals. Your desire to give back to both your local and your global community is unbelievable. And actually, I've gotten those Kind Spring cards since you guys told me about them, and that's really led to a lot of amazing experiences, just learning about your experiences using them. And I think the fact that all of you all are out here in the middle of North Carolina nowhere and here to celebrate them just speaks volumes for who they are and the people that they attract and surround themselves with. So I want to cheers to Summit and Julie. May you both continue to enjoy life's adventures and surprises, because if you've taught me one thing, Julie, it's that some of the best memories are made when you least expect it. So, cheers to the happy couple. Love you guys.
Loyal, caring, sincere, honest, a great man. But that's enough about me. I'm here to give a speech about Summit. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is excited about this weekend as much as I am. Look at this lovely couple. Look how beautiful they are. Look at Julie. Oh, you look like an Indian princess, like a princess. And look at Summit, looks like a king. For those who don't know, my name is Raj Javeri, and I have been Summit's childhood friend since 1984. Yes, 33 years. And what people don't know is that we decided to become best friends when he was sitting on my mom's lap and I was still in the womb. From day one, we were the biggest nerds. Well, we definitely dressed like one, especially with our Tom and Jerry and airplane cartoon khaki pants that we would proudly wear. But most importantly, we were inseparable back then. We were the only two that went to temple school together. We would play countless hours of Tecmo Bowl, Double Dragon, and Mario Brothers, just the two of us. We would take frequent trips to Forest Fair Mall to play more video games, and we both excelled at school together. Now, since Summit was a year older than me, he did grow up faster than I did in many ways. I still remember the day when he first introduced me to my first teenage house party. It was nothing crazy, it was all innocent, but that was the first time when I realized Summit was growing up, and it was the beginning of my journey to keep up with him. Just like a younger brother would do with his older brother. But like an older brother, Summit always made sure that I never fell too far behind, and always continued to ask for my input, from what college major he should do, to what residency programs he should apply to. Years passed as I continued to try to catch up to him. We both attended Ohio State, went through multiple phases discovering ourselves. And it was until when I moved to New York City 8 years ago when I realized we were both evolving. Our conversations went from being about parties and girls to about self-reflection, altruism, and philanthropy. I was back on the same page with him. And instead of chasing to catch up with each other, we both started chasing to become the best version of ourselves. I was speaking to a different Summit, someone more caring, optimistic, and loving. We both fell in love with altruism at the same time and started inspiring each other to be more spiritual and giving. During this journey, we both found our significant other at the same time. After learning that true love does not come by finding the perfect person, but by learning to see an imperfect person perfectly. Now I knew Julie was the one when I first saw her interaction with Summit. As everyone knows, Summit's the king of persuasion. He will force you to do something he wants to do, and you somehow get sucked into it. But when it came to Julie, man, it was the other way around. It was art. Summit Shah getting out-persuaded. I knew right away this was special. But in all seriousness, I learned that it was the love of altruism that brought these two together when all three of us did a volunteering activity in Columbus years ago. Summit, one major advice I'll give to you that marriage has taught me so far. Whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, just stay quiet. Just don't say a word. And Julie, you probably know this. Don't ever disturb Summit's sleep. That is one thing he'll forever be stubborn about, and that's his beauty sleep. It's a fight that you'll never win. But also, a huge thank you that you got Summit to shower daily now. I'm not sure if you guys knew this. Summit was in this hippie phase where he wouldn't shower for days. So once again, thank you so much, Julie, about that. All jokes aside, Summit and Julie, what I've truly learned is that love isn't perfect. It isn't a fairy tale or a storybook, and it doesn't always come easy. Love is overcoming obstacles, facing challenges, fighting to be together, holding on and never letting go. It's a short word, easy to spell, difficult to define, and impossible to live without. Love is work, but most of all, love is realizing that every hour, every minute, every second of it was worth it because you did it together. Always stay true to that. Congratulations, you two. Love you guys, and can't wait till tomorrow and also evolve our relationships even further together. FYI, I had a 5-minute version of this, and they had to shorten it. So if you guys want to hear that 5 version, it has to do with Halloween, but I'll tell you guys later.
Well, I've had a great time tonight. Hopefully you guys have, and it just shows us how well this is planned, how well tomorrow is going to be, and it's just going to be fantastic to see you guys become one.